The problem is that people are so used to it now, when they see that, they read AI. Even if they don't have a problem with AI, it feels not human. It feels like, this isn't for me. This is for 1,000 people and none of them for me. I don't like it. They hate it that they can tell it's copy. Writing something just to fill a slot is, in my opinion, bad. Always bad, universally bad. But if this is a product, or if this is a call to action, if this is something that you are trying to communicate to another person, it has to matter to them. And if it doesn't matter to them, it doesn't belong in there. Stop doing the Becky from customer service voice. Not only does that read as AI, it also reads as inauthentic in general, because people know when they're being handled. I am Kristin McTiernan, the nonsense-free editor, and I am, in addition to being the nonsense-free editor, that's for novels, that's for nonfiction, I'm also a content creator. I am dubbed the internet moralist, and pretty much what I do is I look at movies and I look at TV shows and I look at the moral messaging that is behind those, and I distill that through a Enlightenment era moralist lens. So it's, yes, it's entertainment, but it's also education as well. And finally, I am an author. I've written a number of books of a variety of different genres, pretty much everything that I like. The most recent book is The Twitter Crush, which I think I can highly recommend, especially if you're a terminally online content creator. I think you'll get a lot out of that one. And if you are an author, whether of fiction, of nonfiction, please go to nonsensefreeeditor.com. If you are not a long form writer yourself and don't really have an interest in promoting book length materials, and you just like to consume content and you have an interest in morality and you have an interest in movies and TV, or really you just like to read rambling morality essays, then you can always go to kristinmctiernan.com for what I like to call my not Patreon site. When you think about enshittification, a lot of times you think about your devices, but in terms of marketing and marketing copy, a lot of it has gotten better in some ways, but worse in others. And when I say better, it means you don't have the bad English, you don't have the bad grammar. It's almost too perfect. The problem is that people are so used to it now, when they see that, they read AI. Even if they don't have a problem with AI, it feels not human. It feels like, this isn't for me. This is for 1,000 people and none of them for me. I don't like it. And so the concept of enshittification, when you're dealing with marketing copy, whether that's on social media, whether that's email, whether that's YouTube, you're reading from a script because you're trying to get someone to take action. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't sound human, if you don't have something that's uniquely you or uniquely human, that is part of enshittification and why people are starting to tune out. They want to switch to a dumb phone. They want to put all kinds of blocks. They want the ad blocker. They want everything because they're so sick of not human sounding copy. They hate it that they can tell it's copy. Writing something just to fill a slot is, in my opinion, bad. Always bad, universally bad. A lot of times, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago, it was write an email every day, bro. You got to email your list, bro, every single day, twice a day. If they unsubscribe because you email too much, then they're the wrong people for you, bro. But that was before AI. So when you're dealing with unlimited content, having something just to fill a space is a bad idea. Now, for me, because in addition to web content, I'm also an author and I wrote to market. I wrote a book. Here's what people want to read. And I wrote it all myself, but it's not something that I liked. It wasn't something that I felt driven to write. It was just to fill a spot. Hey, look at me. I wrote this romance. I'm not a romance person. The people that who know who I am and like what I do, they're not romance people, but I was trying to chase a trend. I was trying to fill a spot, and it went predictably badly. So in an age of unlimited content, when you're just emailing, it's Friday, I send an email every Friday. Do you have something to say? Do you have something that anybody wants or needs to hear? Those aren't necessarily the same thing. If the answer to that is no, what is it? What's better? Is it just better to waste somebody's time with crap because I made a commitment I was going to send this email? Or is it better to say, I don't have anything to say and you have other things going on and there are other things that are more worth your finite attention? We're just going to take Friday off. So my theory on just do it, bro, is okay, if you have something that needs to be said, whether because you want to say it or because your audience needs to hear it, whether they want to or not, awesome. But if you're sending it just to send it, if you're putting it out there just to add to the noise, don't. We have enough of that. When you're thinking about what the copy is supposed to do, not all copy is supposed to perform. It's not always a CTA. It's not always, hey, buy my thing, or hey, get on my list. There is copy that is designed to perform, and then there is copy designed to connect. I would say the majority of my copy is designed to connect. And when you're dealing with connection, you don't want to connect with everybody. I am a huge fan of repulsion market. That is repelling everybody who is not my people. I don't want you around. I don't need you around. Your presence irritates me. Piss off. So when I'm trying to connect, my individual content is longer form. It's got a more traditional essay or article format. It has an introduction, it has a main point, and then the rest of the very long essay is to prove that point that I made. A lot of people aren't going to have the attention span for that. A lot of people are going to want to comment on the headline or on the first paragraph. And in something that's designed to connect, I'll actually chastise them for that. No, you didn't read this article, and I know you didn't read it by your comment. Go back. This is a 400 level class, not a 100 level class. What are you doing, bro? I'm going to shame you. And that's especially true on YouTube because you get a lot of, stragglers coming in. But if I'm writing copy to perform, for one, it's going to be short. If it's a tweet, it's going to fit just in that window. I'm not going to make you click see more. No, that's a waste of your time. I only want you to click on one thing, and that's the CTA. It's also for a wider audience. I've already done the connection. So the people who follow me, the people who put me on I want to see these people list, I've already done the connection. Now comes the time to perform. All right, I know who my audience is, and I know that this is going to extend beyond my normal audience. So it's going to be shorter. It's going to be worth their time. The CTA is going to be clear, and this is just a me thing, I'm going to be a little bit nicer in the comments. It's okay, because the connection is the 400 level class. Performance is the 100 level class. It's okay if you're new here, as long as you can follow the CTA. I originally coined the phrase nonsense-free editor simply for Googleability. There were a lot of people who called themselves no nonsense, but nobody who called themselves nonsense-free. And it worked on that front, but it also became a brand. So when I say nonsense free, of course, that means, yes, I will tell you the truth. When you're editing people's creative works, whether that's a memoir, this is about their life, or a novel, it's a fictional universe, you have to abide by rules, but it involves a lot of creativity, and it's an exposing your soul kind of thing. So a lot of times when you're working with a professional in those types of fields, there's a lot of nonsense there. And by nonsense, bold-faced lies. Oh my God, this is so good. I can see who you are as a person. Everyone's going to love this, because they feel awkward in telling you, okay, this creative thing that you have poured your soul into, now you're looking to move this into being a product. And I'm going to tell you how this fails as a product. Being nonsense-free is looking at things for what they are, not for what the creator kind of hopes they would be. When you're dealing with a service industry, it's a little bit different when doing something like e-com. But the most important part of looking at copy, regardless of what you're selling, regardless of what the function of that copy is doing, is, am I telling the truth? Am I saying what is true? Is it doing what it's supposed to be doing? Those two things don't necessarily overlap. So when I'm going through copy and I'm like, nope, this is nonsense, get out of here, it's not necessarily that you're lying. It's just that you're saying something that doesn't make any difference to the person that you're sending it to. It might mean something to you, and that's fine, good for you. But if this is a product, or if this is a call to action, if this is something that you are trying to communicate to another person, it has to matter to them. And if it doesn't matter to them, it doesn't belong in there. It's nonsense, and you get the red pen. Trust with your clients and with your consumers is a huge thing. Now, for me, I don't take ads. I don't take sponsorships. And people tend to like that just because they don't want to have to sit through an ad, or they don't want to fast forward through it, skip through it on YouTube. So it is partially a convenience thing, but it's also a trust thing. I've been very open with my audience about finances. Like, there's more of a push for financial transparency, but a lot of people, especially if they're not from the US, or they're from different cultures, there's still a lot of shame around money, and they don't want to say, hey, actually, I did this full time, but then I on purpose went back to my day job, which is what I did. And it wasn't a failure. I was making the money. I just hated it. And I told my audience that. It's like, look, here's what I had to do to replace the income that I was making at my first day job. I hated every single last bit of it, and I did not thrive. And neither did you, because, okay, do I have to take ads? Do I have to open up a premium group? Which you said that you didn't, that I offered it. You felt like I was not being honest with what I was saying because I was trying to recruit people. Okay, I hear you. So in being financially honest and saying, yes, look, I have two jobs. I have my business and I have my day job. That means I will never have to corrupt my message because what is that stupid therapy website? BetterHelp offered me $700, even though we all agree that this is a horrible scam, even if you believe in therapy. I'm going to take the money because I need to pay my electric bill. You never have to worry about that. And so having that level of transparency, like, hey, I'm a new copywriter. Yeah, this is not my only job. And I have email on my phone, but I'm not always going to get back to you within 5 minutes. People respect that a lot more than faking it till you make it. Oh, yeah, man, I have a team of 10 and this is my full-time deal and I make millions of dollars a month. I am so flush with cash, man. Okay, so then why can't you get back to me immediately if I'm paying you all this money? So you want to have clarity of who you are and what you stand for and where the money is coming from. I've always said that I made more money from my editing business than I did with my content business. It also makes it fun when people think that they're, oh, I'm going to leave you a bad review and you don't care and you post that for content. It actually takes a lot off of your shoulders in terms of, oh, do I have to be nice to this person that I don't even want to work with? Nope. No, you don't. And so just having that ability to be honest with people and making sure that the message that you're communicating is in line with your values, there's a lot of freedom in that, and I highly recommend it to everybody. So if you're sitting at your desk and you've been writing copy and you're looking at it and you're thinking, I've got a lot of nonsense in my copy, I would say the first thing that you would do, and this is especially for female copywriters, is put to the side what the girlies would be impressed by. There is a tendency, much more with female copywriters than with guys, to use your own friend group as a frame of reference or the influencers that you follow as your frame of reference for what would be good copy or what would be appealing copy or what would be good for your brand. And if you're selling specifically to the girlies, that works. But what I found with female copywriters is they're not. They're selling to somebody else. Maybe they are selling to the stately millennial matrons, or maybe they are selling to the parent of teenagers. It's who are you talking to? And you might find that if you want to go nonsense free, one, stop concealing who you are. Stop doing the Becky from customer service voice. Not only does that read as AI, it also reads as inauthentic in general because people know when they're being handled. Oh, I'm so sorry you felt that way. Let me see if I can make it better. We've all seen those tweets from airlines or from brands where they get called out and they all have the same HR language. Nobody likes it. Nobody believes it. So if that's how you're writing because you don't want to offend anybody, do you feel like you're connecting? Do you feel like you're making a name for yourself? And I think that you'll find the answer is no. So be yourself, be who you are. And whether you're an American or whether you're from Australia, inject that because the way that we speak is very indicative of where we're from. I come from the trailer park. I don't conceal that in the way that I write and the way that I communicate. I talk like I talk. I do not pretend to be someone from the East Coast or someone who went to an Ivy League university. And if you're just an outback girl from Australia, talk that way because that's part of who you are. Do not inject nonsense. Do not pretend to be some polished corporate person because, as we're seeing, nobody likes that. Nobody likes inauthenticity. And authenticity, to say, is something I don't think will go out of fashion anytime soon.